Hello everyone, welcome back to botany class. In previous video, we started the new chapter, Principles of Inheritance and Variation. So part 1 of this video, we discussed about what is the meaning of inheritance and variation, and then we discussed the important terminologies so related with genetics, and then we discussed about the father of genetics, John Gregor Mendel, and then we discussed about the Pisum sativum, garden pea plant. It's an experimental material used by Mendel. And then lastly, we discussed about the Mendel hybridization experiments. And in this video, we are going to see further. And I hope that all of you watched the previous video and you understood the topics. And further we'll continue in this particular video, right? So before getting into this topic, we will see what are the content we are going to discuss in this video. Here we are going to see first the 7 pair of contrasting character used by Mendel for his hybridization experiment, right? And what pairs he used. And then we are going to discuss about inheritance of one gene. For that, Mendel conducted monohybrid cross. And then we are going to see the phenotypic ratio, genotypic ratio, and importance of monohybrid cross, right? We will see one by one. First, here you can see the 7 traits of Pisum sativum, nothing but the 7 pair of contrasting character chosen by Mendel for his hybridization experiment. And for his experiment, he used the pure breeding, nothing but true lines of Pisum sativum he used. But for that, he selected totally 14 true breeding variety of Pisum sativum, right? In that, he selected 7 contrasting pairs of contrasting character for his experiment, right? We will see what are the character he selected for his experiment. He selected safe of seed as one of the character, seed safe. Next, seed color, and next pod color, next pod shape and pod color, and next plant height, and the position of flower and the flower color. Okay, these are the 7 pairs of and 7 contrasting character selected by the Mendel for his hybridization experiment, right? So just you see the sheet same, seed color, pod shape, height of the plant, and position of the flower and flower color. Okay, these are the 7 pairs he selected. In that contrasting character for sheet shape, he selected round sheet as a dominant trait, round shape, and recessive trait is wrinkled. So wrinkled is a recessive one. So they're like opposite character. Okay, one is a round shaped sheet, another one is a wrinkled shape, right? And color of seed, he selected yellow color as a dominant. So here yellow color is a dominant, and green color is recessive trait. Green color is recessive trait, right? And pot color. So here the dominant trait is green and the recessive trait is yellow. Yellow color part is a recessive trait and dominant one is green color part. Like pot shape is the full is nothing but you can say it so inflated. Okay, so full that is a dominant trait. Flat and constructed part is selected as a recessive trait. Plant height, he has chosen the tall as a dominant trait and short is a recessive character. And position of flowers. So mostly, so this one is axial. Axial is a dominant, and terminal one is as a recessive. Axial is a dominant, terminal position is recessive. Flower color, purple color is dominant and white color is recessive trots. Okay. So these 7 pairs of contrasting character of Pisum sativum selected by John Gregor Mendel for his hybridization experiment. By using any one of these contrasting pair or combination of 2 or more contrasting pair, he conducted several hybridization experiments, and based on that experiments only, he proposed some important genetic laws. The laws nowadays we are calling as law of inheritance or Mendel law or Mendel principles of inheritance, right? We will see. And here we are going to start with the first hybridization experiment. The first hybridization experiment name is called monohybrid cross. So the monohybrid cross nothing but here Mendel he want to study the inheritance of single character at a time, the inheritance of one gene at a time. For that he conducted one hybridization experiment in Pisum sativum. The hybridization experiment you can call it as monohybrid test, okay, or monohybrid experiment, right? So what is that monohybrid? So actually for studying inheritance of one gene at a time, he conducted that experiment. So this experiment, the cross involving two plants, two individual plants that are differing in only one pair of character, right? Remaining all pairs of characters are same, but only one pair character alone it's a differing. So that they are taken, they selected such a plant and he did hybridization. Okay, you see monohybrid, Mendel crossed the tall variety of Pisum sativum with the dwarf variety of Pisum pea plants, okay, to study ingredients of one gene. So not only this tall and dwarf is stem height, not only these character, and he used any one of the 7 pairs, okay, but he want to know it how the character or the trait is passing from parents to offspring. So the experiment name is here you can say monohybrid test or monohybrid experiment. Okay. So why he conducted this monohybrid? To know the inheritance of one gene at a time. For that Mendel conducted on hybridization. The hybridization procedure is monohybrid cross, right? Here we will see the monohybrid cross. He selected 2 parents that are differing in one character. Here the character what he selected for study inheritance of one gene, stem height as a one of the character, right? So he selected 2 parents. Like you see, the all are it's a pure breeding variety. Okay, it's a true lines. So this first parent is tall parent. This is a homozygous dominant tall. Homozygous dominant tall. The genotype is CAPS T, CAPS T. Now another parent is homozygous recessive dark, right? This is a parent organism. So this is one is a tall plant, another one is a dark plant, right? You can look the image. One stem is looking like tall, another one looking dark, right? This is a parent organism. So this parent produces only one type of gametes. That is a CAPS T alone. So it produces 2 gametes, but kind of gametes are only one type. Okay, whatever n number of gamete produces, all are it's a CAPS T only. But here this parent produces only small t, only one kind of gametes. And we know that in the second step of Mendel experiment, he cross-pollinated among these selected parents, right? It selected tall and dwarf, and he did cross-pollination. We know that how we are doing that artificial hybridization. Just one plant he assumed as a male, another one assumed as a female. The plant which assumed as a female, from that he removed anther by using forceps, and then In male plant, he collected pollen grain and dusted on the female plant, right? And he got F1 generation, filial generation 1. So you see here gamete from this parent, the caps T, and from this parent is small t. So the progeny how it look na caps T and small t. It's a heterozygous, but the plants look like tall. Okay, you see here the image you can look. The gamete here is caps T, here gamete is small t. But from this he collected seeds and he planted, and he got all the progenies are tall. Okay, all the progenies are looking like tall, right? And generation 2, and he allowed this F1 generation for self pollination, right? Selfing. You see here one F1 generation is there, heterozygous, here heterozygous. It produces two kinds of gametes. One is gamete with caps T, another one is gamete with small t. This plant also produces two kinds of gametes. So if allowed for cell pollination, and what will get na, you'll get so three different kinds of plants, right? And for calculating this F2 plele progeny, he used one mathematical the table. The mathematical table you can call it as Punnett square. Okay, he's taken gamete like you see one parent gamete here, caps T, small t. Another parent gametes are here, and which parent I have to use there, which parent I have to use here. Now you look this image. So male parent you can use it in vertical column. Okay, a vertically you can use, but female you can use in horizontal rows. In column rows you can use it, right? So you see this caps T, what we will get? Caps T, caps T. Caps T, small t, you'll get caps T, small t. Small t, caps T, small t, and small t. So whatever the progenies he collected, he produced in F2 generation, in that he observed that. So three plants are out of four plants, three plants are looking tall and only one offspring looking dwarf, right? This is a monohybrid cross. And the similar experiment conducted by Mendel. Here, in a previous experiment, we discussed about height of the plant as a character. In that, we selected two contrasting trod. One is a tall, another one is a dark. Here, for this experiment, he selected the color of seed as a character. In that, he selected two contrasting trod. One is yellow color seeds, another one is green color. You see, yellow color in a parent, so true breeding variety, produces gamete, only one type of gametes only, caps Y. And green color, it's a true breeding, but recessive, homozygous recessive, it produces only small y, only one gamete. If both are crossed, we will get F1 generation. So F1 generation is, it's a heterozygous offspring. Okay, by produce this hybrid is produced by a crossing of gamete from both of the parents. Okay, we'll get caps Y, small y. And this F1 generation produces two kinds of gametes, caps Y and small y. This F1 generation allowed for cell pollination. So the cell pollination of F1 offspring produces F2 offspring with 3:1 ratio of yellow. And so there's a 3 are yellow color seeds and 1 is green color seeds. Okay, you see the genotype ratio, you can see caps Y, caps Y. How many we got it? Only one. Only one we got. And the caps Y, small y, how many we got? 2. So the small y is only 1. So the genotypic ratio is 1:2:1. But whereas phenotypic ratio among all the F2 progenies, how many progenies are yellow color, producing yellow color seeds? Not 3. There is a phenotypic ratio and only 1 is green. So the phenotypic ratio is 1:1, right? Yeah. Here we are going to see the phenotypic ratio and the genotypic ratio of monohybrid cross, right? Here you can see how many tall plant we got it. So this is the gamete produced by the parents of F1 generation. Here we have selected two parents and we are crossing. How many plants are looking tall? These are also tall, and this one is tall. This is a homozygous tall. This one is heterozygous tall, and this one also heterozygous tall, and this one is homozygous dwarf. So the monohybrid ratio, monohybrid phenotypic ratio is, so 3 tall and dwarf is 1. So the ratio is 3:1. But genotypic ratio is homozygous tall is only 1, caps T, caps T. Heterozygous tall is caps T, small t is 2. Homozygous dwarf is small t is only 1. So the genotypic ratio of monohybrid cross is 1:2:1, right? And Mendel, he made similar abbreviation for other pair of traits also, because he has chosen 7 pairs of contrasting, and he conducted one by one. So in every class, he selected only one contrasting pair and he did monohybrid. So that he did monohybrid class for all the contrasting pairs also. Okay, and he observed result. Like you see, flower color is there, purple dominant, white is recessive. In that also he conducted monohybrid class. Like seed color also he conducted, sheet shape also he conducted, pod color, pod shape, flower position, axial and terminal, and plant height. So previous, now we discussed only the plant height and seed color we discussed, and he analyzed all the results, whatever in F2 generation, whatever he got. You see, here in flower color he got 505 dominant form and 224 are recessive form, 3:15:1. And here green color like that. Okay, for all he calculated and he found the ratio of genotypic and phenotypic ratio. And based on his monohybrid class and the hybridization experiment, and Mendel proposed that something inherited from parent to offspring, and what he inherited, what is inheriting, and how the character are transmitted from parents to offspring, he has no idea. But he told something is inherited, and he called them as a factors, right? The factors responsible for the trait or character inherited from the parents to offspring. That's why he got the 3:1 phenotypic ratio. The factors alone now we are calling as a gene. But at that time Mendel he used the term factors. Factor he called as a unit of inheritance, right? And when we are giving genotype ratio, you see, we are using caps T for tall and small t for dwarf. And do not use caps T for tall and small d for dwarf, because it's difficulty to remember whether T and D are allele of the same gene or character. So that the dominant character, what uppercase letter we are using, the same letter only, small case letter we got to use it for recessive. Like tall we are using caps T, caps T. For dark we got to use small t, small t. Like yellow we are using caps Y, caps Y. For green you got to use small y, small y. Then only we'll know that alleles are that there are alleles of same gene or character. If you are using yellow YY and here green GG, you'll think it's a different. Okay, so that for specifying genotype, you got to use what caps letter we are used for dominant. The same letter, but in small form, you can use it for specifying the recessive trait, right? And F1, you see in F1 plant monohybrid, the heterozygous tall, when cell pollinated, produces 2 types of gametes, but the gametes are in equal proportion. Okay, when F1 how we got, so this is a heterozygous, it produces 2 kinds of gamete. One is a caps T, another one is a small t. So 2 proportion, equal proportion we are getting. But during fertilization, the pollen grains of T have 50% chance to pollinate the egg of either T, caps T or small t, right? Similarly, the pollen grains of genotype, small t have 50% chance to pollinate the exam genotypes, caps T and small t. Okay, you see, these are one gamete. These are two types of gamete produced by one parent. These are another two types of gamete produced by another parent. This gamete, these are caps T, have 50% chance to pollinate eggs of caps T or small t. Similarly, these small t have 50% chance to pollinate eggs of caps T and small t. That's why we are getting 3 plants are tall and only 1 plant is dwarf, right? And you see here the very important slide here. In that random fertilization, 1/4 is, so fourth of the random fertilization leads to caps T, right? Out of 4 choices are 4 choices are there. So that 1/4 and half of the random fertilization leads to caps T, small t. And a 1/4 is random fertilization leads to small t, small t. Okay, so that how much we are getting? Caps T is 1/4 and caps T, small t is half and 1/2. So because 1/4 into 1/4 will get 1/2, right? And 1/4 is you are getting small t, small t. If you put binomial expression like ax by whole square, you can write it like this: half t plus half t into whole square. Because here the gametes and all, we are getting only 2 types of gametes. So both gametes, they are having 50% of chance. So that's why we are writing like this: half caps T, half small t into whole square. The expansion, how we are writing now: half T plus half small t into half T plus half small t, right? It's the expansion we given. If you expand like this, right, you can write like this: 1/4 caps T plus 1/4 caps T small t plus 1/4 caps T small t plus 1/4 small t small t. It gives like this, right? So we are the genotypic ratio, how we are getting na? So 1:2:1, right? So in a monohybrid cross, Mendel cell pollinated the F2 and found that dwarf F2 plant continue to generate dwarf plants, right, in F3 and F4 generation. And he concluded that genotype of dwarf was homozygous. Okay, that's why if you are a dwarf, whatever we got, again if we are crossing with the dwarf, again we will get only dwarf only. If dwarf crossing with either homozygous tall or heterozygous tall, we will get tall and dwarf. There is a chances are there. But here for further filial generation, F3, F4, whatever the dwarf he got in F2 generation, and he cell pollinated further, so that he got F3 and F4 generation, but all are, it's a dwarf plants only, right? So that he concluded that the dwarf plant what he got in F2 generation is homozygous recessive one, right? So up to this, we will end up this video, and the remaining topic we will continue in upcoming videos. Thank you for listening. Thank you.